Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of slope-intercept form. This is standard 7.7a in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 24 of the 2018 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and then we will look at our answers together. So we have an interesting word problem here. We have a fish swimming at a constant rate. So we're going to use a linear equation here, and they give it to us. Y equals negative 7x minus 3, which we don't really think of a linear equation that can be used to represent a fish swimming in the ocean, but apparently we can. So they're going to give us two things here, and we're going to make like a little graph. So let's just kind of pretend we got a little xy axis right here. There's your x, there's your y. But they give this to us here. The y is the depth of the fish in meters. So let's just take this and we're going to say this is our depth. And then the x is the number of seconds that the fish has been swimming. So I'm just going to call this time. So I'll just kind of put those labels right here just to help us. Time and then depth. So how would we graph this? Well, first let's graph this and then let's find which of these statements works best for us. So y equals negative 7x minus 3. Let me put that right here, because there's two things that we know. We know the y and the x. Now that we know the y is the depth, x is the time, but we do know that this right here, negative 7, is the slope. So this comes from our y equals mx plus b form, where the m is the slope. And so that can be viewed as the change in y over the change in x. And sometimes we'll think of it as rise over run. It's also a good way to remember slope. So that means that for every x that's going on, it is actually dropping 7. So our slope is negative 7, which means that our line is going to go down this way. It's not going to rise up to the right. It's going to actually go down. It's going to go down 7 for every second. So that's pretty steep. It's going to be a pretty steep slope. And then this b right here, this is our y-intercept. And so this is what we get when we make the x 0, and we see where the line crosses the y-axis. In this case, it's the depth. So our y-intercept right here is negative 3. So it's going to actually cross the y-axis at negative 3. And so let's say our negative 3 is right here. So we've got our line is going to cross the y-axis right here, and let's say we've got every second right here. You see we're going to have a pretty steep slope. We can't really get above the ocean, so we're not going to really go above the x-axis there. We're going to get something that kind of looks like this maybe, to where it's just going to get deeper and deeper and deeper for every single second. So that's as close as the graph we can get. Now, which of these sentences best describes that? So from a starting position of 7 meters below sea level, see, that's not going to work for either of those, because look, our y-intercept is negative 3. So this starting position, that's actually talking about y-intercept, because the x is 0, right? So the starting position lets you know that the x is 0, and they just flipped it. They were looking at the 7, but we need to be looking at the 3. So F and G don't work. So H and J both look good from the starting position of 3 below. Below means negative, right? The fish is ascending or descending. And that's where the negative 7x helps us, lets us know we're going down or we are descending. Our answer is H.